It doesn't really have a top frame other than this one piece. That's the board. The Lumino, so Luminkey has released this. It's like their new line of 75s. It is kind of in that same zone where it's pre-assembled. I'm not sure if they're gonna add a non-pre-assembled version. I would love for them to, because the case itself is, you know, it's kind of cute. They have some cute colors for this as well, but it's a 75% layout. If it follows suit with some of the other Luminkey stuff, Luminkey's boards without any of the foam inside can get pretty nice sounding. So I'm kind of hoping this follows suit in terms of that. Now this will have a screen. It does come in, like I said, some really cute colors. It comes in a black and cream, a gray and cream. Looks like a robin's egg kind of blue, or like some sort of sea foam, a pink, and then this one here, the red. It's gonna start at $215 for a pre-assembled board, and then the switches it comes with, the keycaps are, I mean, they're PBT, they're probably not gonna be my cup of tea, but they actually come with astral switches, and I don't know anything about them. One criticism I'll give them is I wish they had more information on their website. It gives you enough information, but not enough of like detailed spec breakdowns. It is cute though, and I'll show you guys right now. Hard shell case. This is kind of your standard, and this is what I call like your standard easy to machine keyboard here. So it's gonna be pretty simple looking. The side profile though, from the website anyways, actually looks pretty good on this. But you know, pretty even looking bezels here. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, dude, alert stuff is very in right now. And then you have your, I know, we built that already. And then you have your standard kind of sound profile here, you know, like it's foamy, it has PX stuff in it. It's pretty no frills from the top. I mean, it has, you know, this cool, you can call it like a board accent row here, which is, it's fun, I like that. And then it has a screen. Where I think this looks really pretty though, is they did a really cool with the side bezel here, or side piece. This is actually pretty neat. But yeah, look at this. It's a pretty cool side profile. Like, I have to admit, I don't know what the front height is, no listing on that at all, which is, I know they do need to do a better job on that. Little bit of tape here, which is interesting. I'm not sure what this tape here is for, but I'll have to open it up and find out. Maybe they accidentally left it on. It just looks like some masking tape they meant to take off. But yeah, it has a USB-C, and then it has a toggle for your wireless mode and stuff like that. So this is where I take a little bit of issue, I guess, with the board. I like the typeface they use, like it's cute, you know, but like, listen, I'm gonna say this, and this is not just singling them out, it's every manufacturer who does this. Why do you need to put your name of the keyboard on the keyboard? I think if you took like 2 seconds and, you know, maybe you could have just done something with the O, with like the little alert kind of things around there. It's just me. Like, I think it's just me at this point here. This is it's not an objective thing. I just really wish that companies would do a little bit more with the logo or just the back design. Hell, don't put anything else at all. Because I'm gonna say this, okay? And this is not a slight on anyone who puts branding on anything. Like, I think branding can be fun, it can be subtle and look good at the same time. But like, when you put the name of your keyboard on something, it almost, like, depending on how you do it, it can look cheap. And a lot of the times it does look cheap. And then the other aspect of that is, if you're gonna spend any amount of money on a custom keyboard, you're probably not gonna forget what it's called. And it's just like, why even put the name of the company on it? You're not gonna forget what it's called. And I know some people will say branding reasons, like, oh, if someone else looks at the board, they'll know it's from Lumino. Bro, it's on the bottom. Even if you end up taking pictures of your setup, you're never gonna see that. Which can be the counter argument as well, like it's on the bottom. But is it offensive to have this on the back? Nah, I mean, I guess not, because it's on the bottom. But still, I think if they just put a little bit more effort onto this, you know, maybe just the O with the cool alert, it could have been cool. It could have been a little bit more neat. But here's how the board looks. We're gonna take this apart because I want to hear this with no foam. And then there is the animation for the screen here. I don't know how to describe this. It is very techy. Yeah, I mean, the board itself is like this cool alert type thing, which is fun, but yeah, this kind of, like, the screen itself makes no sense for how the board is themed. I wish they went with a more flat, you know, cutesy kind of design, opposed to like the really techie, like, look, I'm in the suit of Iron Man type of design. It is what it is. And then the thing I don't really get is I don't get what I'm supposed to do to customize this, or if this is even customizable, or if you can change languages, or I don't know if there is languages, but I have no idea. And this is my one call out for Luminkey, okay? Put some instructions on the website. That would be my call out here. So at least they did give us a booklet. However, again, I would still put this on the website. Put it on the website, put the links to anything, like, is this VIA compatible? Is this all I get? I'm assuming this is all I get. I would assume that this screen is all they have to offer. We have a little screwdriver, we have the wireless dongle, we have some switch pads. Oh, they give you an extra switch. So wait, what brand of switches are these? Undisclosed, but they are 5-pin. Okay, well I can't get it out, but there is a cable inside there. I'm not gonna bother getting it out. Oh, and a switch puller too. All right, so standard fare here. Always nice to get all this little stuff. I'd love to know if we can change things. I would love more information. And I would hate for it to be kind of like a lazy screen, you know what I mean? There we go. Got the sawing it out. All right, so if you're buying this stock, the stock, I mean, probably needs a little bit of a tune-up, but it's not bad. Luminkey Astral switches. Yeah, I saw their Luminkey Astral switches, but I don't know who the actual manufacturer of it is. Let's open this thing up. Actually, we'll unscrew it first. Now, is this a hidden screw design? I'm assuming it is. Oh no, this was catchball. I forgot about that. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I like that. This is nice. This whole screen assembly is done on a pin system here. That is cool. That is really cool. So then you just pull off this side too. I don't think I've seen that yet. This might be a first. Oh, wow. Okay, that is very interesting. Oh, I see how this works. That is really interesting. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of all the foam. We're gonna reassemble this. And then it's using 2 pogo connectors over here. Oh, wow. This is very unique for how this was implemented. And I enjoy looking at things like this. I really do. I know it's a ribbon cable. I would have preferred if they kind of went the full route and just did everything. You know, this kind of seamless connector over here. I think that would have made more sense, but this is pretty neat. This is very easy to disassemble. I have never seen anything like this so far. And that just goes back into place there. Oh, wow, that is interesting. All right, so let's take apart this then. Do they have this? So it looks like they're using some sort of gasket pin system over here using these little wheels. This looks very simple. This might be a really fun 75 to grab and tinker with. I'm really hoping this follows suit with the rest of the Luminkey series and sounds just as good. So the nipples go down. We've got to remember that. But the stabs they give you in the box are plate mounted. Not that I have anything against plate mounted, but I can see there's no stabs over here. And it does look like the layout is rather fixed. So there's not really anything we can customize here, layout-wise. But that's fine. I'm not upset about that. However, I'm gonna do this as a little note. You know, not for nothing. I think with keyboards in particular, for all the hobbies that I'm in, they're custom keyboards, you know, like I really do wish that custom keyboards sometimes offered, especially nowadays. I feel like a lot of people have been, I'm not going to use the word lazy, I don't know the right word to use, but they kind of just do pre-done layouts and they don't offer anything else. I see a lot of boards like this now where it's very minimal, if anything. And I kind of wish people would go back to, like these companies would go back to offering us a little bit more options here when it comes to layouts again, because it's a custom keyboard after all, you know, so it would be nice. I don't know if I'm going to use these switches. I might swap them out for HMX. It's so easy just to offer other layouts and include extra caps. Well, even if they don't, like, that would be nice. Even if they just made the PCB capable They don't have to include everything extra. I'm fine with that. I have no info on the switches itself nor the stabilizers. Like I said, one of the things I really wish they'd do is they'd go in and add more of this detailed tech specs on their website. I am rather impressed with the board. I don't really... I mean, if they just put this on the back instead of the weight, this would make more sense, make it more cohesive. This little design there, but I'm going to leave these stabs on because we're going to make these sound good. Oh yeah, one of the other things that I did see in the few specs that this has listed is this is a 1.6mm PCB. I love to see that, and that's actually what's kept me interested in some of the Luminkey products, is well, at least not in the more recent products they've done, but they've kind of like given up on doing crazy flex cut stuff. Sunset gleams. I love the packaging. I really like these switches from HMX. They're good. Are the OG sunset gleams better or worse than full travel? I have liked them all personally, so I have no personal preference when it comes to this. Maybe in terms of what I like typing on, I like full travel personally. All right, well, I think the only thing I really want to do right now before I forget is touch up some of these stabs. Actually, you know what? These are pretty well lubed. You don't need a whole hell of a lot for this. I still love the way this assembles. And then the cool thing about this is what I also like about this board. I don't like this, what's it called? I don't like the ribbon cable, but that's it. That's the only thing you need to slot in is the ribbon cable. Everything else you just kind of just drop into the case here, which is pretty neat. So it doesn't really have a top frame other than this one piece. That's the board. This is probably one of the easier to assemble boards. Like if you struggle with assembling a board, maybe like it's just not your cup of tea. I would even say the ribbon cable's like not terrible to put in. You could technically do this plateless if they offered a solderable version. Yeah, you technically could. Now I'm very curious on how this is gonna sound. I wanna use GMK keycaps for this. I hope this sounds good. Maybe we can tweak this if it doesn't. So this is using some HMX Sunset Gleams with ABS keycaps now from GMK. It's the stock polycarb plate. We got rid of all the foam. Maybe we have to put some back in there. And this is done with those silicone gasket mounts. It's a bit on the sharper side and a bit plasticky, yeah. It's a very different sound than the typical Luminkey stuff that I'm used to. I'm wondering now, before we even start typing on this long term here, maybe we have to change up the space bar. It could be the HMX Sunset Gleam that's causing it to be a little bit plasticky sounding. It also could be that it's resonating pretty badly. Let's just try some different space bars and then we can try some different stuff. I was thinking the same thing. Maybe we pop in an Obscura, because that's a pretty deep sound signature, I know. I think I saw the problem. Do you guys see this? This is the problem, I think. I'll let them know. Look how tight the plate is against the edge of the PCB here. It's literally touching the side of the case, which is probably causing that really sharp sound. Yeah, there's not much I can do about that. It's just pressing. Like, it's just the switch itself. Even without the switch in it, it's still pressing against it. So there's not much I can do. I mean, it sounds good now, because I moved the other gasket to the bottom to kind of give it some leeway there. But yeah, it does seem like that's a bit of an issue. I'll bring it up to them. I don't know if this is a prototype. I'm pretty positive this would be considered a production model, but I mean, it's just a plate issue, it seems. So I don't know how widely that would affect anything. I mean, overall, the board doesn't sound bad at all. It does sound a smidge empty, which is a little bit... It's kind of there. Do you guys hear what I'm talking about? So nice. It's a smidge empty, and I kind of want to do this, though. I kind of want to just put in that one layer of bottom foam at the bottom here and just see how that kind of affects the keyboard. I think maybe that will help breathe in some life to the board here. Yeah, I do think this helps a lot. all that emptiness is gone now. This is still, I can tell this is touching the side over here though. But like the alphas sound really good now. Actually, you know what I realized too? This is actually kind of handy to have this part open. Because you can just lift this up from here without the risk of damaging or pulling on parts. So that's pretty handy to have. Here, let me show you guys. Do you guys see this? The plate looks like it's just not cut proper. See how it's kind of warped outside? It just looks like it didn't CNC properly, and I'm wondering if this is just like a one-off issue here. It could be a defect. There's just something, I think it's this plate, man. I think this plate's not cut properly or something. I might have to sand it down or something like that. Like I can really see it just doesn't like this case at all right now. Let me actually do this. Should help a little bit. No, the plate looks like it has a small defect underneath or on the bottom of it where it's kind of not cut properly. This definitely helped a little bit with this. It still sounds a bit plasticky overall. Like I'm not the biggest fan of this spacebar on this board. I like everything else this board has to offer. I just don't think this has the sound profile that I typically like in the board here. Yeah, like maybe an aluminum plate would actually breathe some life into this board instead of using a plastic polycarbonate plate. See how good this sounds outside of the case? It's just the way this is kind of reverbing some of the sound within this case over here. I think it's just some of that. Like it's not anything too major. It could be a combination of it needs some sort of internal weight to help diffuse some sound, which is a shame. It almost sounds like a PBT spacebar. And I'm curious though, let's put back the PBTs. Maybe this is better with PBT keycaps. Let's see. Actually cutting the plate with the Obscura. Thing is, I like the alphas. But I don't know if you guys can hear it. Even with the Obscura, there's still some like resonance that I'm hearing behind some of the bass. Like it almost has this kind of like resonant flat sound. Like it doesn't actually have the sound profile I'm going for. Hey, you guys could love this. Don't get it twisted. You guys could absolutely love this build. And you know what? I kind of like this combination of having the deep spacebar with the brighter alphas. The spacebar is growing on me though, I'm not gonna lie. The more I type on this, the more I keep clicking it, the more I'm like, you know what, this is nice. Maybe this is one of those boards that really grows on you. It's definitely different from what I'm used to. I do like the spacebar a lot too. Yeah, the more I'm typing on it, the more I'm like, yeah, this is quite nice. It's weird. Normally I'm not like that. Usually when I don't like something, I'm pretty like dead set on it, but it's not bad. Just needed a bit of TLC. Yeah, I mean, the only major things I have for this, right, is first of all, Luminkey needs to 100% needs to put the instruction manual and whatever files they have in terms of software, how to even edit this, if you can edit it, I'm not even sure. All that needs to be on their website. The next thing, super easy to assemble. Love this thing. Like, this is one thing you take off and you put a ribbon cable back in. Not the end of the world here, but I do think what they should do for the future, like the ribbon cable is not the end of the world here, but would have been really nice to see though, is this also be on a pogo pin? Because ribbon cables still are a little bit annoying to put in, you know, like even having to grab this now. Not the end of the world. And then the back of the case over here too is just not my favorite thing to look at. The word Lumino. It's just kind of, you know, it's kind of cheesy. But overall, like the board itself for 220 bucks, if you want to get this pre-assembled, it's not a terrible purchase. I would like to see a bare bones version. I really think a bare bones version would be way better to pick up. I wouldn't say this is Luminkey's strongest release. I would still be, like if I had to pick this up, I wouldn't regret it.